Hello, I'm Robbie Fowler. I'm obviously here at Merseyside Police to help with this big knife campaign that we're going on at the minute. I obviously played for Liverpool for a number of years. Liverpool born and bred, proud of where I'm coming from, and want to help to make this city a little bit safer and better. So from a police person's point of view, you know, what is your?
I think we definitely need tougher sentences, because you need that deterrent for people to think twice about if people know if you pick a gun up and you get caught with it, you know you're going to go to prison. For me, it massively starts at home with the parents, but are we assuming parents know what to tell their kids, what advice to give them, how to help them, etc.? So through the local authority, certainly in Liverpool, we're developing now a training package and getting parents to come in, and we're giving presentations to the parents as well to say, be aware of the signs that your child might be carrying a knife. We know, I'm looking at some of the knives here, that's probably not going to come from a house, someone's kitchen drawer, but the smaller knives here, everyone has these at home, and parents, we sort of ask them to be mindful of what knives you've got. If you've got a kitchen block in your kitchen, are all the knives there? Because all it takes is, and sadly we've seen it, someone's going to school for whatever reason, they feel they need to take a knife, they're probably going to take it from the kitchen because there's loads of knives, put it in the bag.
When you're talking about people carrying knives in nightclubs, bars or whatever, is there anything in place where the owners of said nightclub would get into any more trouble for? Does that sound reasonable?
Right, so we have a really good relationship working with licensees and bar owners. They want to get rid of knife crime as much as we do, and we have a really healthy conversation around what they're doing to prevent knife crime. So, as I say, a lot of bars now, they have the knife wands. They actively use them. They'll scan people's IDs. Some of the bars coming in, so there's a record of who's coming into their bars, and that, again, it's a deterrent for someone who thinks, I've got a knife in my pocket here, I really want to scan my driving licence in, and then people know who I am. Some bars have knife archers, some will put them on for big events, and they will literally scan everyone going in. And what we say is, if bars are doing their job and they're catching people before they get into their premises with a knife on them, they'll take the knife off them, they'll notify the police, and we'll come and deal with it. Yeah. That for me is a good thing. That's not something we would take issue with and say to a bar, we need to have a serious conversation because you're effectively doing a good job and stopping knives coming in. Sadly, where people do get into bars with knives and people do get injured, and we do see that from time to time, sadly, then we have a formal structure in place that we will invite that premises in, we'll have a conversation, we'll look at how the knife got in, why it got in, what is it they can do to prevent it happening again. And usually that's enough. They'll put additional measures in place and we don't have that conversation again. If sadly that was to escalate and something does happen, then we may then need to sort of speak with the local authority about, is that premises fit to be open? Knife ones, metal detector ones, which people are probably used to seeing at airports and that kind of thing. So over a weekend, particularly when we have a big policing presence out, during the nighttime economy, officers will use these on a regular basis when they're stopping people, give them a quick scan, see if they've got anything metal on them. So these are ideal for if officers are in plain clothes, for argument's sake, they're a little bit more discreet. They can put them on if they have cause to come and speak to someone, and they conduct a search of them. It'll give the officer that indication initially, because they'll feel the vibration in the hand that there's something metal. And then they can obviously deal with that, as opposed to the obvious bleep from the wand to give the person a heads up. You can feel it; it's quite a strong vibration in the hand. Various bits of technology we've got, from the gloves to the wands to the CCTV and that. And I think one of the most sort of obvious bits of technology that we have and that we use and that the public are used to seeing is knife archers.
Is this just a police thing, or will bars or establishments have these?
Yeah, so there are a couple of bars across Merseyside that have actually got knife archers. They've made that choice. So it's not, as far as I'm aware, a specific condition for any particular bar that they have to have a knife arch. And I know that's sort of been quite a topical debate really, as to whether every bar should have a knife arch.
So why don't you make it compulsory for if all these bar owners want licenses, just say, all right, well, you can have a license, but this is a compulsory.
Yeah, and that's a conversation that's being had really with the local authority at the moment, as to whether that's a step that needs to be taken. As I say, knife crime incidents in bars are very few and far between. Useful, but I think in conjunction with some of the other technology that we've got, as well as you can't beat a police officer standing there, that visible straight away, that deterrent.
to stop it, I think it needs to be a bigger deterrent. I think we need to sort of educate maybe youth clubs, schools, parents, and everyone, telling that carrying a knife is extremely bad. We know the repercussions of why why it's bad. People's lives can be ended. We don't want to see that. So carrying a knife I think is ridiculous. You don't need to do it. But I think the repercussions and the sentences need to be a lot harsher, if I'm being totally honest.
We have to be careful about putting the fear of knife crime into people, because not every young person, male or female, is carrying a knife. It's a few and far between. But the damage that they cause is massive, and it raises that the profile of knife crime causes the fear of people. So
obviously, I get that. Obviously, you as the police force, or you as Merseyside police, don't want to put fear into anyone. But I think you probably need to get out there, and again, it's that education as opposed to fear, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's something we sort of give a lot of thought to, really, because we, as part of our policing every day, we do open land searches. So if officers are out on foot patrol, going through a park or a city centre or town centre, we're aware that people will hide knives in locations to avoid being caught in possession. So they might hide them behind a wall, or in a wall, or behind a bush, or we're aware of that. So when we're out and about, officers will actively be looking for weapons that have been hidden or discarded. But what we don't want to do is put the fear in people that actually, wow, there's knives everywhere, because the reality is that there isn't. But when they're used or when they're caught, it's a massive issue. So we have to balance, really, between, we don't want the public thinking we're not doing anything about knife crime, because we're doing an awful lot. But we don't want to put the fear into people and scare people as well.
As a parent myself, I've got 4 children, and I read and see stories all the time about young kids getting involved in in gangs, if you like, and carrying knives. Look, and I think this is where we go back to the previous statement before about, I think we need to educate parents, because I think a lot of it will come down to the parents educating their kids and telling them what they can and shouldn't do. And I think that's probably the main protocol that we can go down. As much as we do need the youth clubs, obviously police will do the campaigns, everyone will do their own campaigns, but the majority of help that we probably need is from the parents. I think it's vital that they sort of educate their young kids as well.
Robbie, how's it like then growing up in Liverpool for you? For me it was perfect. You go down when we were kids, and all I wanted to do was play football. I lived in Merseyside, it's probably just about half a mile that way. And it's funny actually, because we go on about gang cultures now, and I mean we had a gang, but it was not gang per se. Where we lived in Merseyside. There was maybe about 30 kids actually. We all lived there, and it ranged from maybe 7 years old to 16, 17 years old. And we were always together. Now, when I use that term loosely, gang, but we were all like mates, and we were forever playing football. We were playing football on the local astroturf.
What about the violence and stuff? Do you think, did you see much sort of violence and knife crime going on?
No knife crime, certainly no knife crime. Look, there was violence. I think no matter where you are, there was violence and things going on, and whatnot. But as kids, you're not interested anyway. I want to play football, and this is why I think with society, the way it's changed now, you get a lot of kids who want to go out there and go back to carrying knives. That might be normal now.
What's the difference for kids growing up now, or and we say kids, we know it's not just kids involved in knife crime, but what different challenges do you think they have nowadays compared to maybe when you grew up?
That's a great question, actually. I think, I think back certainly when I was a kid. Look, we had everything we probably needed. We had the balls, the footballs,
Balls on the street walls,
it was just all like it was planned. This wasn't it? It was. That's all we had. So the last thing on our mind was just to go out there and carry any sort of weapons. I think nowadays is it being normal for kids? I don't know. I don't really know the answer. I mean, is the less youth clubs? Is the less respect shown for elders, not just police, but is the less respect shown for the elders? I think the big thing is the parents. You need to get some sort of campaign involving the parents to sort of try and teach their children, you know, the rights and wrongs. I'm from Toxteth, and look, I'm not. You can see, I mean, there's a lot of knife crime in Toxteth. You know, it's no different here than what it is anywhere else certainly in the country. But I was lucky in my upbringing because I played football, you know, and I wanted to be football, so I was focused and I was driven, and I was also very, very lucky. And I also know that there's lots of kids and there's lots of adults who aren't, you know, as fortunate or not as lucky as me. But it's a different one. I mean, I don't really know the answer. I mean, role model, yes, because we played football to a high level, and you know, maybe some people can listen. I mean, you know, even if you get, you know, 1 to 10 people listening to us, I mean, that's a start. It's a start, and you know, once this campaign gets out a little bit more, you know, and other people start jumping on board, and you know, the more people that start on campaign, the better. Look, it needs to stop, and it needs to stop quick.
I, you know, travel all over the world. You know, I read, you know, lots and lots of stories about Liverpool and what it's like as a place. And look, we all know it's a magnificent place, a lovely place. You know, I still live here. You know, my family's still here. And when you obviously travel abroad and you travel all over the UK and you're reading various stories about, you know, various night crimes in Liverpool, I think there's a little bit of an embarrassment factor as well, because, you know, I know that, you know, not everyone is, you know, is bad. Not everyone is I know, brought up in the way of crime. But obviously the way the media and a lot of people portray Liverpool as though it happens all the time, you know, is obviously quite sad. So, you know, certainly my message to you is, look, you know, go out, enjoy yourselves. But look, you know, leave the knives at home. You know, give them to someone. Don't throw them in the bin. You know, that's not what it's all about. No one's ever going to stop you from enjoying yourselves. But enjoy yourselves in the right way. Be massively safe. And obviously, look, you know, I'm proud of Liverpool. You be proud of Liverpool. And let's make everyone else, you know, who's not from Liverpool, you know, enjoy coming to this lovely place.